and welcome back to English Sprout TV. I'm Alex.
And I'm Emma. Thanks for joining us today.
Emma, let me ask you something. If you had to pick the three most important verbs in the entire English language, which ones would you choose?
Oh, that's easy. Be, do, and have. Without those three, we basically can't build a sentence.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Most English learners study these verbs in grammar books, right? They see charts. I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, we are, they are. They memorize it. But then
they try to have a real conversation and everything falls apart.
yes, because in real life, be, do, and have are everywhere. They hide inside questions. They sneak into short answers. They change meaning depending on the situation. And if you don't feel comfortable with these three little verbs, your English will always feel slow and heavy.
So today we're going to fix that. This episode is called How to Use Be, Do, and Have in Real English Conversations. We're not going to bore you with grammar rules. Instead, we're going to show you how native speakers actually use these verbs when they talk to friends, at work, at a cafe, on the phone, everywhere.
By the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly when to use each verb, how to build questions fast, and how to sound natural when you answer. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's grow your English together here on English Sprout TV.
Let's do it.
Okay, before we start, let's look at what you'll learn today. Emma, can you walk us through it?
Sure. Number one, we're going to look at the verb be. Not just I am happy, but how we use it to describe people, places, feelings, and even to make questions in the present continuous.
Number two, the verb do. We use it for actions, for jobs, for hobbies, and this is the tricky part, as a helper verb in questions and negative sentences.
And number three, have. We use it for possession, for relationships, for experiences, and for those super common expressions like have breakfast or have a good time.
Plus, at the end, we're going to put all three verbs into one real-life conversation so you can hear them working together.
And as always, we want you to practice with us. At the end of the episode, we'll give you a small homework challenge. You can write your answer in the comments.
Perfect. Let's start with the verb everybody meets first, be.
Alex, why do you think be is so difficult for learners?
Honestly, because it changes so much. I am, you are, he is, she is, it is, we are, they are. And then in the past, I was, you were, he was. It's a lot to remember. But in conversation, we usually don't think about it. It just flows.
Right. So let's look at the most natural way we use be in real life. The first one is simple description. Imagine you meet someone new. They ask, so what's your brother like? You say,
He's tall, he's funny, and he's really kind. Notice I didn't say, my brother is tall. I said, he's tall. Native speakers love contractions. He's, she's, it's, we're, they're. If you want to sound natural, use contractions.
Absolutely. Let's hear another real example. Imagine you're at a restaurant. Your friend asks, how's the soup? You say,
It's delicious, or it's a little salty, or even just it's okay. We use it's to describe things all day long.
now, here's another super common use, location. Imagine you're on the phone. Your friend says, where are you? You say,
I'm at the grocery store, or I'm in the car, or I'm outside your apartment. I'm, your, we're, plus a place.
and what about feelings? This is huge. Native speakers talk about emotions constantly. I'm tired. I'm excited. I'm nervous about the interview.
Yes, and here's a tip. When someone asks, how are you? Don't just say, fine. That's boring. Say, I'm pretty good, thanks. Or I'm a little stressed today. Or I'm fantastic. Using be plus feeling word makes you sound alive and human.
now let's talk about be as a helper verb. This is where grammar books make it scary, but it's actually simple. If you want to talk about something happening right now, you use be plus verb ing.
For example, what are you doing? I'm studying English. She's cooking dinner. They're watching a movie. In real conversation, this structure is everywhere.
Let's do a quick practice. Alex, what are you doing right now?
I'm recording a podcast with my favorite co-host.
Aw, thanks. And what is your sister doing right now?
She's working at the hospital. She's a nurse.
Great. And what are your parents doing this weekend?
They're visiting my aunt in Chicago.
Perfect.
See how easy that is? Be plus verb ing. Just pick the right form of be and add ing.
One more thing about be. We use it for age. In some languages, you say, I have 20 years, but in English, we say,
I'm 25. He's 8 years old. My grandmother is 92.
exactly. Never say, I have 20 years. That's a direct translation mistake. Use be.
All right, I think be is feeling friendly now. Let's move to the action verb do.
Do is interesting because it has two lives. One life is as a normal verb, and the other life is as a helper verb.
Let's start with the normal verb. When we use do as a main verb, it usually means to perform an action or a task. What do you do means what is your job, but it can also mean
What do you do on weekends? Here, it means what activities do you do? So the same verb can talk about your job and your free time.
Let's hear some real examples. I do yoga every morning. She does her homework after school. We do the dishes after dinner. They did a great job on the project.
Notice the forms. I do, she does, we do, they did. Present, present third person, and past.
Now, here is where learners get confused. We also use do and does and did as helper verbs. When do we do that, Alex?
We use them to make questions and negative sentences in the simple present and simple past. For example, do you like coffee? Does he live here? Did they go to the party?
Right, and in fast, real conversation, these helper verbs get very short. Do you becomes dia. Does he becomes doesy or even duh in very fast speech. Did you becomes didya or do.
Let's practice natural questions. Emma, do you like spicy food?
Yes, I do. I love it.
Does your brother live in the city?
No, he doesn't. He lives in a small town.
Did you watch the new movie last night?
Yes, I did. It was amazing.
Perfect. Notice how Emma answered. She didn't just say yes. She said, yes, I do, or no, he doesn't. Using the helper verb in the answer makes you sound much more natural.
This is a big mistake many beginners make. Someone asks, do you play guitar? And the beginner says, yes, I play. But a native speaker says,
yes, I do, or no, I don't.
exactly. Let's do a few more. Alex, do you speak any other languages?
Yes, I do. I speak a little Spanish.
Does it rain a lot in your city?
Yes, it does, especially in winter.
Did you eat breakfast this morning?
No, I didn't. I was in a hurry.
Great answers. Now, here's another real-life use of do. We use it to replace a verb we already mentioned so we don't repeat ourselves.
Oh, yes, this is super common. For example, I don't like pizza, but my brother does. That means my brother likes pizza. We don't say my brother likes pizza again. We just say my brother does.
Another example, she didn't finish the report, but I did. That means I finished the report.
This little trick makes your English sound smooth and advanced. Instead of repeating the same long sentence, just use do, does, or did.
Let's hear one more. I don't want to go, but we have to, don't we?
Yes, tag questions. You like him, don't you? She works here, doesn't she? They arrived late, didn't they? All of these use do as a helper verb.
Okay, I think do is feeling less scary now. Shall we move to have?
Let's do it. Have is my favorite of the three because it has so many personalities.
Have is the king of multitasking. It can mean possession, it can mean experience, it can mean eating, drinking, or enjoying something. And just like do, it works as a main verb and a helper verb.
Let's start with possession because that's the first meaning everybody learns. I have a car, she has a cat, we have 2 children, they had a big house. Simple.
But in real conversation, we don't always say I have. In American English especially, you'll hear I've got instead. I've got a meeting at 3. She's got blue eyes. Have you got any money?
Right. I have and I've got mean the same thing in casual conversation, but be careful. I've got is mostly for possession. We don't usually say I've got breakfast to mean I'm eating breakfast. That's a different use.
Good point. Now, let's talk about relationships. In English, we have relationships. I have a sister. He has a girlfriend. Do you have any brothers? We don't say, I am a sister, unless you are talking about yourself as a sister to someone else.
Next, experiences. This is the present perfect, and it's everywhere. Have you ever been to Paris? I have never eaten sushi. She has visited London 3 times. We use have or has plus the past participle to talk about life experience.
And in real conversation, these questions fly around constantly. Have you seen that show? Has he called you back? Have they decided yet?
Now, here is the fun part. Have is also used for daily activities that feel like events. We say have breakfast, have lunch, have dinner. We say have a shower, have a bath, have a nap, have a dream, have a conversation, have an argument, have a good time, have a bad day.
So many expressions. You don't take a shower in British English, you have a shower. You don't eat breakfast in a fancy way, you have breakfast. It's casual, it's natural, and it's what natives say.
Let's practice some. Emma, did you have a good weekend?
Yes, I had a great weekend. I had dinner with friends and had a lot of fun.
Have you ever had a pet?
Yes, I have. I had a dog when I was a child.
Are you having a busy day today?
Yes, I am. I have 3 meetings and I have to finish a report.
Notice that last one. I have to finish. Have to means obligation. It means must. This is another super common use of have.
Right, I have to go. She has to work late. We had to wait for an hour. If you want to say something is necessary, use have to.
And don't forget have got to, which is the same thing but more casual. I've got to run. You've got to see this movie. It adds emotion and urgency.
Now let's look at have as a helper verb in the present perfect. We touched on this with experiences, but it's also used for recent past with just. I have just finished my homework. She has just left the office. They've just arrived.
In American English, you'll often hear the simple past instead. I just finished. But in British English, I've just finished is very common. Both are correct in conversation.
And here's a beautiful expression. I have had enough. It means you are tired of something and you want it to stop. I've had enough of this noise. She's had enough of his excuses.
Or the opposite. Have a good one. It means have a good day or have a good time. It's a friendly goodbye.
So have gives us possession, relationships, experiences, daily routines, obligations, and friendly goodbyes. Not bad for one little verb.
Okay, now let's put everything together. Emma and I are going to act out a short conversation between 2 friends meeting at a coffee shop. Listen for be, do, and have. See how many you can catch.
Ready? Here we go.
Hey, over here.
Oh, hi. Sorry I'm late. I am so sorry. Traffic was terrible.
No worries. I've just been sitting here enjoying my coffee. How are you?
I'm okay. A little tired, honestly. I had to wake up early today.
Why? Do you have a meeting or something?
No, my dog was sick. I had to take him to the vet.
Oh no. Is he okay now?
Yes, he's fine. The vet said he just ate something bad.
Poor guy. So, what are you doing this weekend? Do you have any plans?
Well, I'm having dinner with my parents on Saturday, and on Sunday, I'm doing absolutely nothing. I just want to sleep.
That sounds perfect. I'm doing the same, actually. I have a lot of work to do, but I think I'll just relax.
You should. Have you had lunch yet?
No, I haven't. I was waiting for you. Do you want to order something?
Yes, I do. I'm starving.
Great. Let's have a sandwich and catch up.
I'd love that.
All right, let's count them. How many times did we use be?
I'm late. I am so sorry. I've just been. How are you? I'm okay. I'm a little tired. He's fine. I'm having dinner. I'm doing the same. I'm starving. That's 11 times.
And do?
Do you have? I'm doing. Do you want? Yes, I do. 5 times.
And have?
I've just been. I had to. Do you have? I had to. He's fine. No, that's be. I'm having. I have a lot. Have you had? No, I haven't. I was waiting. Let's have. 7 times.
In one short conversation, we used these 3 verbs 23 times. That's why they are so important. You cannot speak English for 30 seconds without them.
Let's do a quick recap before we finish.
Be. Use it for descriptions, feelings, locations, age, and the present continuous. Remember your contractions. I'm, your, he's, she's, it's, we're, there.
Do. Use it for actions, jobs, and hobbies as a main verb. Use it as a helper for questions and negatives in simple present and past, and use it to avoid repeating verbs. I don't, but he does.
Have. Use it for possession, relationships, experiences, daily activities, and obligations. Remember, have to means must, and don't be afraid of I've got in casual speech.
If you can master these 3 verbs, everything else in English becomes easier. They are the foundation.
Now, here is your homework challenge. We want you to write 4 sentences in the comments. Use be, do, and have in real contexts.
Sentence 1. Describe how you are feeling right now using be. Example, I am excited about the weekend.
Sentence 2. Talk about something you do every day using do. Example, I do exercise every morning.
Sentence 3. Talk about something you have or something you have to do today using have. Example, I have a meeting at 2, or I have to study tonight.
And sentence 4. Make one question using be, do, or have. Example, do you like learning English? Or have you ever visited New York?
Write your 4 sentences in the comments below, and we will try to reply to as many as we can. This is the best way to practice.
If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to English Sprout TV. We publish new lessons like this every single day to help you speak English with confidence.
And if you want the full transcript and vocabulary list for this episode, visit our website, EnglishSproutTV.com. The link is in the description.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. Remember, English is not about perfection. It's about connection. And with be, do, and have, you have everything you need to start connecting.
Keep practicing, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.